Hello, it's Roland here. Who else could it be? And welcome to episode number 2 of Roland's Notebook podcast. It's lovely to have you along as a listener, and I hope you do enjoy today's podcast. I'm going to be talking about fountain pens, and particularly my love of fountain pens, which has been a long time now, because when I went to school back in the day, we had to use a fountain pen, at least when I was at the infant and junior school. They did change that later when I went to senior school and we switched to ballpoint pens. However, I can say that switching to a ballpoint pen was not an advantage. Yes, they would write on poorer quality paper. However, they do spoil your handwriting. It's much better with a nice flow of a fountain pen. And that's what I'd like to talk to you about today, why fountain pens are good. Ecologically, they're quite good because if you use a refillable fountain pen and not a plastic cartridge ink filling system, then of course you're not throwing away cartridges on a regular basis as you would with a ballpoint pen. Although many will last a long time, they still will run out and require replacing. If you buy cheap pens, they tend to break and of course the ink will run out and you'll throw the whole pen away. But if you buy a nice quality fountain pen, and that doesn't have to be that expensive. You could be looking at around £20 in the UK. Will get you a fairly nice pen that writes well. And of course, they will actually go up to thousands of pounds if you want something very flashy, covered in diamonds and platinum and all the rest of it. But let's talk realistic about what is a good everyday pen. My fountain pens, I've got some old ones I actually tend to use a lot. I've got a pen that was my dad's. That's a Schaefer back from the 1960s, a lovely piston-filled one. You just basically pop it in the ink, wind the piston, and up the ink gets sucked into the inkwell. So it's really good. And then, of course, I've got a 1970s, not to be outdone, 60s, 70s. And the 70s ones is a Parker. And then I've got a Cross, which came from about year 2000, thereabouts it was in actual fact. So lots of pens. I've got a new one now which have been sent to me from a company called Ellington Pens. They asked if I would try this one out. It's very nice indeed. It comes with a cartridge converter, so you don't have to use plastic ink cartridges. You can if you want, but I prefer not to. And it holds a lot of ink, so it will last a long time without needing to be refilled. So don't worry about if you're out and about for a few days. You needn't take a bottle of ink with you if you fill it up before, because it will write many hundreds of words, if not thousands of words, before it runs out. It's got a beautiful nib as well, which is nice. It flows. I've chosen the fine nib. It's available in different widths of nib. And replacement nibs are available, or you can have a couple of nibs. You might have a fine and a medium if you want nibs for different things, for writing different types of style that you like to write in. But this is smooth, very smooth. I believe the pens are assembled in China. They are designed in Britain. But the nib, as far as I can find out, is a German, and it writes beautifully. It slides across the page. And being a fine nib, you don't necessarily need the best of papers. It doesn't soak through. I've got some ordinary paper I've got on my desk right now. I'm just using the reverse of some copy paper. I've just printed something off which I don't need anymore, and I'm just writing on the back of it, and it absolutely writes beautifully on relatively cheap paper. So that's a good thing with these pens. So nice. So this is a metal one. It's in a red colour. They're available in many different colours and styles, and the company also produces ballpoints and propelling pencils, another nice thing you can get hold of. If you do want one of these pens, I'll pop a link in the description, and you're very welcome to have one. In fact, I've got an offer for you if you do want to take it up, which will help the channel as well, and that is 20% off your purchases. So click the link and 20% will already come off the prices if you look at that. So let's go back to writing with a fountain pen. There is a difference in a ballpoint pen, so you don't have to press generally as hard as you would with a ballpoint pen. You let the pen do the work, so you just place the fountain pen on the paper and just move it. So it's not hard work. Particularly with cheap ballpoint pens, you have to press quite hard, which if you're writing a lot can actually be quite tiring. But a nice flow of an ink, and of course with fountain pens too, you can choose many different inks. I'm currently using the traditional Parker's Quink been around for years and years. It's washable, so if you get it on your clothes, it will wash out. No guarantee, I'm not saying it definitely will, but it should wash out. It's washed out of my clothes if I've ever got it on there. You normally don't get any problems getting ink on you unless you put your clothing, your cuff or your sleeve or something like that onto the paper before the ink has dried. That's probably one way you'll do it. Or if you're filling the pen from a bottle and it slips in some way, you could get ink on you there. But a good pen, reasonable quality pen, won't leak. You'll have no problems with that, and you'll be able to keep yourself free of ink from your clothing. So writing with a fountain pen, it's just nice. You just get a better feel for the paper when you're writing. It's more pleasurable using a nice pen than some cheap throwaway thing. That helps, encourages you to write more. And I think when people receive a card or a letter that's been written with a fountain pen, they can just see perhaps a little more care might have been taken in writing to them by that. It's psychological, I know, but it does seem to happen. And I find that really does impress me. If somebody's using a fountain pen, I'm more likely to take note than even if they're using an expensive ballpoint. Now, I have got a nice ballpoint pen here, which would today cost several £100, but no, a fountain pen for me is just nicer to use. So, have you tried a fountain pen? Have you got any questions about them? I will be writing more on my Substack at rolandmillward.com about pens. I've got a review on there that you'll be able to read about Ellington pens, so I'll pop a link in the description that you can read about my test of this particular pen, and I hope to bring more tests of different pens for you in the future, pens that are currently available today rather than perhaps ones from the past, like I just mentioned my older pens here. So look out for that. rolandmillward.com is the homepage, but I can put you the link directly to an article in the description if you like to do it that way. So please, try it out. Take a look at the link. It'd be a great time to get yourself a pen at exceptional value for less than 50 quid. A long way less than 50 quid. And £50 in English, I should say. And then you'll be able to test them out for yourself. Do take a look. 20% off all your purchases. That's guaranteed all the time with that link. Or if you went to the website, you'd have to put in the code Roland, ROLAND, but use the link. It's guaranteed to do it all automatically for you. So thanks for listening today. Today's podcast, episode number 2, more to come. I'm hoping to talk to some people as well about their analogue journey, getting rid of a lot of the digital clutter that we have, going back to traditional things like fountain pens and notebooks and reviewing them with you and sharing my thoughts on them. So thanks for listening. If you're not a subscriber yet, you know what to do. Subscribe. Thanks ever so much. Take care, and we'll see you in a future podcast. Bye for now.